Hello and welcome to Teacher Journey USA. Here in this channel, we teach you everything you need to know about how to get a J1 or an H-1B visa and come and work here in the USA as a teacher with the academic qualifications that you already have, with the teaching credentials you already have from your home countries. How you teachers from all around the world can come and achieve the same dream as myself, Kyle, which have been a teacher here in the USA for the past 4 years, and Chris, which has also been an immigrant teacher here in the USA. We share how we both have achieved this, how we walk through this process, and we teach you how you can do the same thing. So if you want to know more about how you can be a teacher in the USA, if you type free ebook in the comments of this video, we're gonna send you a free ebook that tells you what are the first steps to become a teacher in the USA. So go ahead and type in ebook if you want to find out more about it, and that's completely free. We give you the first information that you need to achieve this dream. But if you feel like you're ready for the next step, if you feel like, no, I'm ready to actually understand more about what the process looks like in detail, what are the different kinds of sponsors, what specifically is the H-1B visa, what specifically is the J1 visa, how to get those positions as teachers in the USA, how to apply for jobs, how to find the right jobs, because you cannot just go to Google and search for teaching jobs, because that's not going to work. That's what a lot of people do, but that just doesn't work. And if you actually want to find out what are the top 5 mistakes that international teachers make when applying for teaching jobs in the USA, you can watch the video, which is also linked in the description of this video, which I tell you what are the top 5 mistakes. So make sure you watch that video as well. But anyway, if you feel like you're ready for the next steps and not make these mistakes that I talk about, sign up for a mentorship. The 2 most common type of visas that teachers can use to work and teach in the USA are the J1 visa and the H-1B visa. However, recent news from the USA government has made a lot of people wonder, a lot of teachers wonder, not only teachers, but people from all around the world to wonder, is the H-1B visa still an option? Are we still able to come and work in the USA with an H-1B visa? Now, what you have to understand is the H-1B visa is not exclusively for teachers. It is a kind of visa that allows USA companies, not schools, but companies overall, to hire foreign workers for areas that are in high need or for the areas that they cannot find American workers for. Now, I have also mentioned in some of my past videos that there's a huge teacher shortage in the USA. So what that means is that teachers around the USA don't have enough qualified teachers to fulfill lots of the positions that they have open every day. And therefore, many of the schools address this problem by hiring foreign teachers like me, like you, to come and work in the USA to fulfill some of these positions that they just cannot find American workers for. For example, in my school district this year, we have had a teaching position that was open for 3 or 4 months, and they could not fulfill it. They could not find anyone for those positions. So they ended up hiring 2, because it was actually 2 positions that they needed to find out teachers for. They ended up finding 2 candidates, one from Brazil and another one from Chile, to fulfill those positions that they just couldn't find people for. So this is what the H-1B visa is. It allows USA companies to hire the best talent around the world to fulfill positions that USA companies just don't have enough workers for. However, recent news from the USA government declared that every company around the USA, if they want to do that, if they want to hire international workers, foreign workers, so that by what we know so far also applies to school, is that they will have to pay a $100,000 fee. Now, the reason the USA government did that is because, according to the current administration, they believe that lots of companies have been abusing this program by hiring workers around the world with lower ages lower wages than they would pay for American workers. Therefore, they are, in the words of the administration, stealing jobs from other American workers that are capable to get those positions. But companies, essentially, according to this current administration, companies just want to pay, they don't want to pay high salaries for American workers. Therefore, they use the H-1B to tackle this issue by offering job positions for teachers, for workers around the world with lower wages, lower salaries than they would pay for American workers. Now, in this video, I'm not going to comment whether I agree or disagree with this policy. It is not my goal here in this channel. My goal here in this channel is to just present you with the information that we have right now, how it affects teachers around the world, how will this change the H-1B process, and how will affect you that are preparing yourself to come and work in the USA, how it can essentially affect you. And many of you have the same questions. Can you still come and work in the USA with an H-1B visa? Now, to talk about this problem, I want to read an article together with you. It's called "Trump Visa Policy Requires Universities to Pay Huge Fee to Hire Foreign Scholars." And it also says USA employers to pay $100,000 for every new H-1B visa. When trying to find out information online about this issue, I couldn't find an article that talked about specifically how it affects schools and school districts, because this is a very specific category of USA employers, and this is actually what we talk about here in this channel. But I did find this article from science.org that talks about universities itself, that talks about universities specifically. And just because it is in the world of education, I believe there are a lot of things that this article talks about actually also pertain to us. They relate to us because universities are in the same scope of education. So therefore, there's a lot that we can take from this article. So the article begins by saying that USA President Donald Trump hopes to boost opportunities for domestic scientists by making it way more expensive for universities and companies and school districts to hire international faculty and staff. So this is what I already talked about. The president announced that he would require a $100,000 fee for every foreign worker that any USA employer wants to hire. The cost would be added to fees of a few $1,000s. So right now, companies that they want to hire H-1B employers, aside of the lawyer and attorney fees, they usually have to pay around $5,000 to hire H-1B workers. However, with this new proclamation, this number would go from $4,000 or $5,000 to $100,000, so an increasingly high amount. And while this specific proclamation aims to tackle the problem with American tech companies specifically, this applies to every single USA employer across the country. And this is why many people believe, and journalists and other people that have posted opinions online that I've read, they believe that this rule should not be the same for every kind of employer out there. Because if there are companies with high income streams, they have a lot of money to hire, they have a lot of revenue, they are perhaps able to pay that $100,000 fee. But companies, or specifically in our case, school districts, they don't have the funds for that. So they're going to be severely affected by that. But anyway, when it talks specifically about universities, it says here that the H-1B program enables USA companies to hire foreign-born scientists and engineers for a limited amount of time when they cannot find a suitable USA-based candidate. And that is one of the key things about the H-1B visas. For schools, for employers to offer H-1B visas, they must post the position for a certain amount of time. They must prove in their petitions that they could not find any American worker to fulfill that position. And then therefore, that's why they offer the position to a foreign worker. So it is already embedded in the process that they must offer, or they must post the position. So therefore, the process already encompasses the idea that the companies that are interested in hiring foreign workers, they must offer those positions to American workers first. they must go to a process called the perm labor certification process, in which it proves essentially that they offered this position, that they posted this position to American workers, but they just couldn't find qualified workers. However, essentially what the administration is saying is that many tech companies are abusing this program, and they're actually exploiting foreign workers by paying them lower wages than the regular wages for that area, for that field, for this kind of position, and then just replacing them with another foreign worker when their visas expire. And essentially, what it's saying is that there are a lot of workers in the H-1B program that are being paid lower wages than average, just so that companies could save some money and not offer those same kind of salaries that they would normally offer, because they're just offering lower salaries to foreign workers instead. Now, once more, my goal in this channel is not give you my opinion. It is not to say whether this is right or wrong. My goal is here just to present you with the facts so that you can prepare yourself, and that's so you can understand everything that is going on. So therefore, the facts that I can present you is that when it comes to schools, when they offer positions for teachers in the USA, this just doesn't happen at all. Schools post the positions with salaries that are standard to the market, because they actually have a table of salaries, and most schools have unions here in the USA, which do not allow schools to offer different salaries for one teacher than to another. So therefore, when it comes to schools, they must offer positions that are with standard salaries. They offer the same salaries for every kind of workers, regardless of whether they come from. So therefore, this can indicate that there might be exceptions, that there might be cases in which employers will not have to pay those $100,000 fees. All I can say right now is wait. Let's wait to see if anything changes. The article goes on to say that the government holds a lottery to award up to 85,000 H-1B visas annually. However, universities and other nonprofit organizations are exempt from that cap. We talk about that in our mentorship. There are many schools that do not have to fulfill this lottery cap because they are exempt. They have partnerships with the universities, or perhaps they are under this education umbrella. So that means that there are lots of schools that do not have to fulfill that cap. My school district is one of them. When they file for H-1B positions, they do not have to go to the lottery process because they are exempt from that. So it says that the universities look to hire the best researchers and the best teachers from anywhere in the world. But this fee could force them to hire only the best USA candidate. What that means for schools, specifically in our world, is that lots of schools, if this $100,000 fee does persist, does continue, that means that the schools might have positions that they just don't have anyone for. Historically, schools in the USA are not able to fulfill most of the teaching positions that they have available, or many of the teaching positions that they have available. And therefore, that is why they hire foreign workers. So if this $100,000 fee, this could cause a big problem to the USA schools, to American schools, because they might be left with a lot of unfulfilled positions that they just cannot find people that are qualified enough for those positions. Moving forward in the article, one of the lawyers, going down in the article, they have a quote from the American Immigration Lawyers Association saying that the new fee will hurt USA global competitiveness. It says, by requiring H-1B workers to pay an exorbitant $100,000 fee to participate, the administration has effectively shut out teachers, nonprofits, researchers, rural doctors, clergy, and other professions who simply can't afford Trump's elitist revisioning of the H-1B program. The group also says that the new fee is unconstitutional because only Congress has the power to set visa fees. They say that the president has overstepped his executive authority on a proposal that will undermine innovation and prevent businesses, both large and small, from accessing the talent that they need. Now, once more, I'm not saying are they right or wrong. I am showing you some of the facts that I was able to find online. And what this says is that there are lots of people that don't agree with this new $100,000
fee request. So therefore, they will countersue the USA government, and they're starting litigation processes to fight this new request. So that means that there will be litigations starting. There will be processes in the court against this $100,000 fee. So that means that right now everything is unsure. Everything right now is uncertain about whether this will stay or not. But there are lots of lawyers, lots of employers trying to fight that. So what I could tell you is calm down, relax, take a breather. I know these are anxiety processes. It's an anxious moment for everybody, but we can try to calm down and understand that there are people fighting against that, and that there are people that are potentially going to try to at least find exemptions for that request, because they also argued that this, because there are many people arguing, such as Ronald Hira, a political scientist at Howard University, saying that Trump's directive is aimed not at universities, or let's just say in our world at schools, but at the bottom line of companies he says are exploiting the system. They will have to decide if they're making enough money off that worker to justify paying the government an additional $100,000 fee. However, when it comes to schools and universities, that's just not something that takes place like that. A worker does not directly impact the revenue that a company generates. It affects, because when it comes to education, things cannot just be measured like that. So essentially, what lots of attorneys are trying to do is defend the idea that there are many types of companies, such as universities, schools, that it does just not make sense for them to have to pay those $100,000 fees. So later down in the article, it says the initial crisis has passed, but we are still telling people to stay put for now. He says yesterday during a webinar on the new fee. Joseph called the order an invitation for litigation, but said potential litigants will likely want to know more before making a decision about going to court. The order allows the government to waive the new fee for employees working in the national interest and who pose no threat to national security. Glennon expects universities to argue their scholars warrant such an exemption, which must be granted by the head of the Department of Homeland Security. So that is one more thing about this proclamation. It is still uncertain about what this national interest stands for, because currently, when it comes to visas, the only national interest category that we have is the EB2 in NIW, National Interest Waiver for a green card application. And this term just has never appeared when it comes to H-1B visas. So right now, a lot of people are trying to understand what is actually this national interest and how could people and our companies prove that. So therefore, there's a lot of people still trying to understand what this actually looks like, and how longer down the road, how these processes will take place, and is how could schools, universities, or other kinds of companies prove that their employers, that their employees fulfill this national interest category.
So my message for you today is don't freak out. When it comes to politics, a lot can change, so there might be still a lot of developments coming in the following months or weeks. And if you're starting your process right now, you more than likely will be offered a position by August to start working here in August or September of next year. So a lot can change. Then there's a lot of litigations going on, a lot of people arguing that an executive order cannot decide how companies apply or how companies offer H-1B visas, that this actually might have to go through Congress or the Senate or the Supreme Court. Anyway, there's a lot that can change. So calm down, even though it's hard. Watch the news, watch for our posts, our comments about that, and our updates about that. If you want to be updated daily about situations like that, you can be a part of our exclusive WhatsApp group, in which we post news like that every day with our personal comments, with personal experiences from other teachers that are applying. And this is exclusive for members of our mentorship. So if you've signed up for the mentorship, in the description of this video, you can be a part of this exclusive WhatsApp group with daily news, daily comments about situations like that with the most recent updates. But you can also be here watching our YouTube channel, in which we will try to update you as much as we can. Now, what a
could say is, for those of you that are preparing your process, that are already starting to apply the H-1B right now, is a little uncertain. So I would focus my strength on that J1 process. I would focus myself on the J1B visa sponsors and how to find out who are the sponsors. Once more, you can sign up for our mentorship, in which we tell you how to find schools and sponsors that offer you J1 visas, which is, to be honest, the most common ways for teachers to come in the USA and the easiest kind of visa that you can get to come. And the J1 is still a thing. Nothing has changed. This news only affects H-1B at this time. So the J1 is still a process. There's still a program specifically designed for teachers to come in the USA. So therefore, don't freak out. There are still lots of possibilities for you to come. Schools still want foreign workers. It's just a little uncertain about at this time whether the J1B, whether the H-1B is an option later down the road. But once more, a lot can change. So if you want to find out more about, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to watch the next video, top 5 mistakes international teachers make when applying to USA jobs. And if you want a free ebook, type ebook in the comments of this video. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.